Are the Illini back? Is it official?
I think they're back. But look, I mean, it's been a roller coaster. It has the last month or so. And I know we've talked about like the injuries and the illnesses, all those things, and not being whole. But the changes that they've made the last couple of games, I think, are notable, particularly today, where you go with a very big lineup to start this game. You go Avicic, you go Johnson, you go Humrickhouse, all three of those guys, and just say we're going to try to dominate the paint. And Yakashonis got back on track after struggling the last 4 or 5 games. Will Riley was outstanding today and has been the last 5 games or so. Like the change that they've made to say, okay, we're going to get KJ off the ball a little bit. We're going to get Will Riley on the ball a little bit. We're going to get him more in rhythm. We're going to get him going. You saw the result of it. I mean, Riley, I think, is one of the more talented scorers in college basketball. I mean, I firmly believe that. I mean, his shot making is at a level that
breaking news, a dude that can go get you 25 in like 10 minutes multiple times this season happens to be a talented scorer. Really going on with that one.
I'm not saying he's a talented scorer. I'm saying he's one of the more talented scorers in college basketball. That's a very, very big distinction to be made there. I mean, I'm not saying I'm brave for saying that Will Riley can put the ball in the basket, but again, today, like we've talked about their 3-point rate and how you don't want to just shoot shots to shoot shots. You want to shoot shots with the intention to make the shots. And I understand the math of, hey, if we take threes and we make 10 of them, and then if we miss 27 of them but get 10 of them back on the glass, like you start playing that game, you get away from what I think goes into shooting the basketball, which requires mental toughness, which requires you to step up and knock them down. And today they shaved that down. They wanted to play inside out. And now that they've matured more as an offense, and they're playing more through Avicic up top too, and they're cutting, they're getting their paint touches off of cuts and off of back downs with Humrickhouse, and maybe it's KJ, maybe it's Will getting in there. Like they found different ways to be able to score the basketball, because they were scoring 85 points a game this season coming into tonight, and they haven't been able to make a shot. So you can see, like, if they start making these shots consistently and start just only focusing on the good ones and shooting a high percentage, man, they're going to start clicking here at the right time.
They were 6 for 28 last game from 3. Like, we're talking one game against Minnesota, and you're calling them back.
Look at the volume, though. Look at the volume.
That's the thing. That's
the distinction that I'm making. Like, it was very evident. Yeah. They shot 1 3 in the first 4 minutes of this game, which was probably 5 less than they've taken in the first 4 minutes of every other game.
I tried not to watch this game. I'm not going to lie.
What's happening?
I tried not to.
What's happened with Illinois in recent games is, like, they get really 3-point heavy in the first, like, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, and dig themselves a hole. And then the second half, they find a way to be able to sit there and make a run and make it interesting. And sometimes they come all the way back and win. And sometimes they don't quite get all the way back and they end up losing. But it's because they don't make that decision to start putting some rim pressure on, to start trying to get to the basket until the second half when they're already down by 15 points or whatever it is. And I think what you saw today was from the opening tip, I don't know. I'm assuming it was something that Brad Underwood told them to do. Maybe they just finally started buying in and listening to him, but they were going to the basket and they were going to the rim and they were trying to get those paint touches. And I feel like you would know this better than me, Mike, but I feel like that's something that Illinois fans have kind of been clamoring for over the course of the last 6 weeks or so.
No, they have been. And I think, the thing that I love about Brad Underwood is, and there can be a stubbornness at times, because when you build out a game plan, you want to double down on it, right? You want to kind of push through the struggles, but like the 3-point shooting had become such a problem, and when you're shooting under 25% seemingly every game, there has to be an adjustment that's made, and I think they made that tonight. And it's not just the 3-point shooting. I talked about Will Riley being a primary ball handler and being involved in actions. I went to practice in October and just came away, blown away by Will's ability to dissect and make plays off a ball screen. He has seven assists tonight, no turnovers. And the thing is too, like, Riley's playing a ton of minutes. Avicic is his first year in college basketball. Yakashonis, Johnson. I mean, these are all pretty much freshmen. And any other team that has freshmen like that, outside of maybe Duke, rides the roller coaster. And I think it had gotten to a point there in early January where it hadn't really happened yet. And I think we vaulted them into a category they probably weren't ready for. And, they got brought back down to earth, and now they're building it back up, I think, in a way that's probably a little bit more efficient for this team. So obviously it goes without saying, I'm excited to see where this goes.